Most people see what is, but visionaries see what could be. Welcome to Vision Power, a community of people who see what others don't and have the power to build it. See it, build it. Today's episode is Reinvent Yourself. And let me begin with a very simple question. What if the person you become is not the person you are meant to remain? I want you to think about that for a moment. You see, most people spend their lives trying to preserve a version of themselves that no longer serves them. They cling to old habits, old identities, old dreams, old fears, and sometimes even old successes. But you see, life actually has a way of demanding change. For example, the child becomes an adult, the employee becomes an entrepreneur, the student becomes a teacher, the follower becomes a leader, the dreamer becomes a builder. So the question is not whether change will come. The question is whether you will intentionally reinvent yourself or allow circumstances to get that job done for you. I once heard someone say that the most dangerous place in life is not failure, it is familiarity. And I kind of agree with the person, because familiarity can convince you that because something is comfortable, it must be right. Familiarity can keep people in jobs that they hate, relationships that they have grown, cities that they no longer belong in, and even mindsets that no longer serve them. And because they have become comfortable, they stop growing. But growth in itself demands reinvention. I want you to consider the eagle. There is this popular story about eagles that says that when they reach a certain age, they undergo a very painful process of renewal. Now, as to whether that story is accurate, whether every detail is scientifically proven or not, is not the real importance here. What matters is the lesson. And the lesson stands that every season of growth requires letting go of something. You cannot become who you are meant to be whilst you are still holding on to everything that used to be. And I hear many people saying they want a new life, they want new opportunities, they want new incomes, but then they're not willing to become new people or a new person. They are still stuck in their old habits, and yet they want new results. You see, you can't have a certain kind of attitude, an old attitude, and want a new relationship. It doesn't work that way. Your future is not waiting for a better version of your circumstances. Your future is rather waiting for a better version of you. Now, I want you to think about something. See, let me just quickly pass this through. Whenever I think about reinvention, I think about three powerful questions. And the first question is, where am I? Not where do I pretend to be? Not where people think I am. Where am I really? What areas of my life are thriving? What areas are declining? What habits are helping me? What habits are hurting me? And most people never reinvent themselves because they never honestly assess themselves. You can't change what you refuse to confront. It's impossible. And the second question is, who am I becoming? And I want you to notice that I didn't ask, what do you want to become? But rather, who are you becoming? And this is because success is not something you simply achieve. It is someone you become. It is the person you become that achieves things. There's a way a millionaire thinks, and that part of thinking must take place before he becomes a millionaire. A great leader thinks differently before he becomes one. A healthy person thinks differently before they become one. It starts with decisions. And everything in life begins with identity. The greatest transformation that you can ever see, it happens when people stop asking, what do I want from life? And rather you start asking, what kind of person must I become to create the life that I desire? And the third question is, what must I learn? The world is moving so fast. Now, information that was available 10 years ago may not be necessarily relevant today. So if you're not the kind of person who can learn and unlearn, and most importantly, the speed at which you learn and unlearn, you will be left behind in this life. Every new level of your life will require a new level of learning. The person that you are today has only brought you this far. And the person you become tomorrow is the one who will take you further. Learning is one of the highest forms of reinvention. Whether it is in books that you are reading, read new books, develop new skills, seek new mentors, expose yourself to new ideas, and never stop learning. The moment you stop learning is the moment you stop growing. And once you stop growing, you will start to shrink. Now, let me tell you something very important. Reinvention is not about becoming someone else. It's about becoming more fully who you were created to be. And many people spend years wearing masks, trying to meet expectations, trying to fit in, trying to impress people, trying to become what others want. Reinvention is not another mask. It is the removal of all the masks that you have worn over the years. It is the courage to discover who you truly are and then boldly become that person. For some people, reinvention means changing careers. For others, it means healing from a past wound, a past trauma. And for others, it means launching a new business. For some too, it may mean deepening your faith. And for others, it may actually mean finally believing that you are capable of more. Whatever your next chapter looks like, you need to understand that you do not need permission to grow. You do not need permission to dream. You do not need permission to change. And certainly, you do not need permission to become who God created you to be. Your next level is not hiding from you. It is waiting for you to grow into it. So today I want to leave you with a challenge. Take a sheet of paper and answer these questions, these 3 questions. Where am I? Who am I becoming? What must I learn? Then write down one action you can take in the next 24 hours. Not next month, not next year, the next 24 hours. Because reinvention doesn't begin with a giant leap. It begins with a single step, one decision, one conversation, one habit, one act of courage. And remember, you cannot create a future while you are clinging to an old identity. The life that you want is hidden inside the person you are becoming. And you must see it, and you must build it, and reinvent yourself. Remember, the future isn't something you stumble into. It's something you build. So keep seeing what others don't and keep building what others want. Until next time, this is the Vision Power Podcast. See it, build it.